DSS, the Department of State Service, has transferred 14 of its operatives involved in the December 6, 2019 invasion of the Federal High Court, where human rights activist Sowore'S, convener of revolutionary protest, who was standing trial in a case brought against him by the federal government, and he was forcefully re-abducted, re-arrested. Sowore'S was picked up barely 24 hours after he was released on bail after spending 125 days in unlawful detention. The incident drew widespread condemnation and exposed the disregard of Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, the president of Nigeria. It actually exposed Buhari's regime to be a regime that disobeys the rule of law. Top sources within the DSS told Sahara reporters on Monday that the transfer of the operatives involved in the court invasion and Sowore'S rearrest was a bid to cover up the shameful incident. One source said they have also transferred Marshal Deco to an unknown destination to cover up his role. At least 60 officers have been recruited to monitor Sowore'S in Abuja. They have also concluded plans to jail him at all costs. That is what they are actually pushing for right now, to jail him at all costs or find a way to make him escape, just like the way they did with Nnamdi Kanu. They found a way to come down to his residence where he lives with his parents, and they started some form of cover up and some kind of shadow kind of invasion, as if there is something wrong around the domain where he lives, and the man has to escape for his life as heavy gunshots and a lot of things started happening right there. I think they are also looking in line to do the same with Sowore'S. They are also looking in that same kind. They are also thinking of that same pattern, looking in line with such kind of activities around Sowore'S, but they don't know actually how and when to go about this. As Sowore'S has also revealed that there are some internal information that he got, that there are people right there that are making sure that Sowore'S goes to jail. And if he doesn't go to jail, you know what it is. They said Sowore'S should escape now for his life because they are going to finally find a way to lock him up permanently. And I don't think Sowore'S will want to go down that road. I don't think he will want to do that kind of mistake. They want to make him a fugitive. That's just what it is. So that he will not step into Nigeria. He cannot come to contest for any election. He cannot speak truth to power. Apart from him speaking from outside, he won't be able to step into Nigeria. Nigeria will now become a forbidden ground, just like what they've done to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He cannot step into Nigeria. They will arrest him. They will claim that he jumped bail without actually pointing out that they sent some Hausa Fulani killers, military killers, and also people from the south are also part of this. Just like the case of Sowore'S, we saw some Biafrans involved in this and a whole lot of people involved in this, working for the government, working for this regime. So that is what Sowore'S has already seen. He knows that their plan is for him either to be locked up in perpetuity or for them to find a way to kind of hassle him a bit, create a kind of scenario around him, and eventually he will want to escape for his life. And then they will claim that he jumped bail and he will not be able to return back to Nigeria until they are done with whatever they want to do. That's the 2023. And even when it comes back, because APC will still be the government possibly at that time, or maybe they create a new party, but still the same mindset, still the same group of people, then it will be a very, very difficult situation again for him to come in there. Then the next thing they will say is that you cannot contest for election because you are a fugitive, you are this, you are that. They will come up with some laws that they will look for some lawyers, some judges right there that will come to support whatever they are saying as long as the money has passed through their hands. So 60 officers have been recruited to monitor just one person in Abuja. And so we also said that a unknown man came into his residence and he broke some electronics and all of that because he was being accosted. He was being stopped by people asking him, what are you doing here? And they claim that he's a madman, is this and that. Who knows if that is just a kind of ploy to kind of attack him or do something to him. So he said this strange man came in pretending to be mentally deranged, sneaked into the apartment, providing temporary shelter for Sowore in Abuja, and caused chaos at the place, broke down electronics. Now, I want to wonder, how did this man find a way of getting into this house? He has a key. Are the doors of Omoyele Sowore'S apartment where he lives, are they so porous, so open, without any form of security? How could this have happened? That is a question that needs to be answered. Did this man break the doors in? How did this happen? Or he has a key, a kind of a master key that he used in getting himself into that apartment. Now, apart from that, they said that this same man physically assaulted a female activist present at that place at that time. The unknown man also vandalized electronic items inside the apartment, the televisions, and every other thing that he could lay his hands on. They say he was trying to move around all of the apartment. So it took the efforts of several men to overpower this stranger and hand him over to the police. And this shows that this is a very serious issue that needs to be looked into. How did that man get into an apartment that is supposed to be secured? That is supposed to be secure. So the incident has raised fears over Sowore'S safety in Abuja, where his stringent bail condition has since restricted him to Abuja, even though he is not from Abuja, he's not from the Federal Capital Territory. Sowore is from Ondo State, and he should have been allowed to go back to his own state. But then they know that they cannot actually perpetrate their evil activities right there. So they have to keep him restricted to Abuja. The 48-year-old journalist is also forbidden from speaking to the press as part of his bail conditions, a situation that clearly infringes upon his fundamental human rights and, of course, freedom of association that has been declared according to the Constitution, and also a Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a historic document adopted by the United Nations General Assembly, December 1948. Sowore was first arrested, and I'd like to use the word abducted, on August 3rd, 2019, for planning a series of protests against bad governance in Nigeria tagged Revolution Now. Despite two court orders granting him bail in the weeks following his arrest, the DSS kept him in detention, violating his fundamental human rights in the process. The DSS finally released him on bail on December 24th after an order from Nigerian Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami. His trial kicks off in February in a case the Nigerian government is coming up with a story of how he insulted the president and some other stories that they are coming up with here and there. So now they are trying to cover up one or two things, transferring 14 operatives. I thought they claimed that the SSS, the DSS never came into the court. They claimed that the SSS never came to manhandle him. What about this unknown man that struck him with something on his neck? Right there, and immediately the man escaped, and they don't know who the man is, as no one was able, although cameras were there, but no one to date have been able to identify that man. So they claim that this man put on the suit, the regalia of a lawyer, but he had nothing to do there. He wasn't a lawyer. So the question that begs for an answer is this: what is this man actually doing right there? So there are a lot of issues surrounding this Omoyele Sowore'S arrest, rearrest, re-kidnap, and everything. It is all about their own, interest. It's all about their 2023. They feel that Omoyele Sowore is a new strain of young people that are also interested in power. And somehow they got the opportunity to enjoy certain things in Nigeria, and they also got that opportunity to take over power. And they don't want any other person to take over power unless you are part of the cabals, you are part of their corruption, you are part of to continue to keep the nation at the level and at the way it is. So they need someone that will cooperate with them, and not somebody that will go against their modus operandi, go against the blueprint. And the blueprint is nothing else than oppression, corruption, and that's just what it is. Stealing, looting for their own personal interests, and that's just what it is. And during elections, they bring in some thugs to help them act as if things are working. But at the end of the day, they pay. They try to bribe the INEC and call in some police officers, since they are in the federal government is in charge of all of these things, and they end up getting the votes that they claim. Of course, it's selection, not election. And they get it there and they sit down and begin to look for one of their boys to put in there, and they become a godfather. And then the nation is what it is as we see it. And they come up with some policies that are not beneficial to the citizens. So guys, that is what it is for now. If you're not a member of this channel, let us grow it together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will alert you whenever videos are uploaded. And if you are already a member of this very great channel, I say a very big thank you for your support. Thanks for stopping by.